Hello guys, what's up? I'm Surush Designer. Today I want to talk about how we can render this kitchen very realistic in Enscape 3.4. So I'm gonna minimize my screen. First of all, I'm gonna set my materials again. I open material library in Enscape. So I use eyedropper in SketchUp. I come back to my in-model materials. So I start with dark gray units. I'm gonna make it a little bit reflective than the past, so I decrease the roughness of it. I change my sun position, something like that, 8 AM, and I want to change my sun position like this. I think it's good. So I go a little bit closer. As you can see, the dark gray gets much reflective than the past. If I increase the roughness, it gets much worse, and if I decrease it, it's much realistic than the past. So I'm gonna set 5% for it and Metallica about 1, and decrease a little bit to the gray, not dark gray. And specular, it means that the sun rises and shines on this surface, and you can see the sun's light and intensity in other places of the environment. If you increase it, your screen gets much brighter, and if you decrease it, your screen much darker. So I'm gonna increase the specular something about 56, and another one is a marble stone. Marble stone is here. I'm gonna decrease the roughness to the 0, and I'm gonna click on it. I want some rotation on my texture, something about 40 degree. Metallica is about 3%, and specular is just 66. And tint color, it means that what's the color in the shadows. I'm gonna use lenient like that. Another color we have is a dark olive green. So I'm gonna decrease the roughness of it and make it much reflective than the past. So in neoclassic cabinets we have different type of materials and MDFs, but usually all of these woods and MDFs roughness is something about 10%, like that, and Metallica is 2%, and specular is something about 74. I'm gonna set some type of materials for my handles, gold materials. Actually, for gold materials we use metal. For this thing I change my type from generic to the clear coat. As you can see, Metallica is about 100 and roughness about 90. If I decrease roughness, I have much gold metals on my handles again, and I decrease a little bit my Metallica. So I think now it's good. I can change the main color to the white or to the gold like this, and I decrease the roughness a little bit about 38 and decrease the Metallica about 69 like this. So I think everything is good. I increase the specular about 90% for much brighter reason. Light gray ref color, it means that the oven color. If you see this oven color, you can see Metallica. I'm gonna increase Metallica to the something about 88 and roughness to the 30, and the specular is good. So last one is the medium blue. I'm gonna change it completely to the white like this, or something about this color is not bad, and the roughness about 6, Metallica about 6, and specular about 46. You can play with these numbers and reach to some good reasons and conclusions. So I click on the eyedropper. I'm gonna change the material of my walls, concrete walls. So I increase the roughness about 26 and Metallica about 1%, specular about 33, and the last one is the I think foot place. So I'm gonna change my foot place materials is dark gray. I think it's good. And the material of my floor, it's a ghost white, and I'm gonna decrease the roughness from 90% to 4%, as you can see the reflection on the floor, and change Metallica to the 1%, specular about 56, and I think it's over. So I came back to my Enscape model. Outside is a very amateur. I'm gonna change it from visual setting. I come to the visual setting, the sky, I change white ground to the white cubes. Now it's better. I want my sky very clear, so I make 0 all of these parameters and countries. So I turn on auto contrast. I want my screen a little bit colder than now, so I increase the color temperature to the 7000 Kelvin. Motion blur is not useful in here because we use it in animations. So lens flare, if I increase the lens flare, you can see the sounds flare on the camera, and if I decrease it, you can see better reasons in here. It depends on your screen. I set it on the 34%. I don't want any bloom option, so I decrease it to the 4, recognition about 16, and chromatic abbreviation about 4. So I click on the main option. I want a little bit lines in here, something about 4%, like this, and exposure about 60%, like that. Now I'm gonna convert my rendering quality from high to ultra, and a little bit get heavier than the past. I change my projection to the 2-point perspective, and now I come to set my safe frame in here, like this. I come a little bit down. I want to change my safe frame resolution, so I want some type of portrait rendering. I'm come to the customize option. I change the 1080 to the 9020, like that. Now I walk near this floor, like this. I think it's good, like that. I change my sun position. Every place I think it's good. For example, that. Alright. So I click on the visual setting. From the atmosphere option, I decrease the sun brightness to the 66, and shadow sharpness will increase. If I increase the shadow sharpness, look at these places, what will happen? As you can see, shadows get much sharper than the past, but it's not real. So in the real world, we have shadow sharpness something about 11%. Artificial light, I'm gonna increase it about 150, and ambient brightness something about 46, and decrease the wind about 0. And now I'm gonna make the fog to the 0, like this. So I think everything is good. Now time for the rendering. If you want to create some type of professional rendering scenes, you can play with your resolution. I think portrait is not very good for this scene, so I'm gonna change it to the 1:1 square resolution. So now it's much better than the past. So I think everything is good. And now time for the rendering process in here, like this. Alright, I press F on my keyboard. I want to create some type of view, so I name it. I called render1, like this. I favorite it. X is about 2.4t, Y is about 0.97, and Z is about 0.4. The pitch is about 0, and Y is about 64 degree. I don't want to save Enscape some position, and I create my new view. So I think everything is good. Rendering scene is great. Now I'm gonna play with these type of sun brightnesses like this, and I want to change my sun position in here, so now it's much better, like that. Alright, I come to the visual setting. I'm gonna click on the depth of field. I turn off the autofocus. Now we have focal point. If I play with the focal point, you can see some type of brightness and shiny lines on my screen, and it means that the distance of the focus between the lens and the bloom option. So I'm gonna, for example, select this place and add some type of adjusted number, 2.12, and if I increase the depth of field, as you can see, focus on the 1 point, and if I decrease it, focus get lower. So I'm going to set it on the, for example, 6%, like this. And now time for the rendering. So I'm going to close it, Shift plus F11. You can change your formattation. I'm going to call it render 1 and press save. So very simple and easy. With some simple steps, we successfully create this type of renders. If I open this render, you can see the conclusion and quality. As you can see, Enscape is one of the best powerful rendering engines in the world. So I think it's really good. Now I want to change my rendering position. For example, I come to this place like that. I click on the F, create some type of view. Pitch is about 0, yeah, is about 90 degree, and I change it to the R2. I choose as the favorite 3.28, 1.18, and 2.26. I don't want to save some information. I create my new view, so I want to change some position like that, and I press F. I came back to my model, so I want this screen a little bit darker to see some type of light and artificial things like this. So I click on the visual setting. I chose my focal point to my cabinet, something about 2.38, like this, and increase the depth of field about 20, and I think everything is good, and I press Shift plus F11, and I have new render in here. I call it R2, and I press save, and rendering is done. As you can see in here, we have new render like this. Very simple and easy with a high quality. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Like and subscribe, don't forget it. Contact us on the comments by the YouTube. So I love you, and I see you at the next sessions. Goodbye.